With franchise fatigue becoming ever apparent with the franchise that should not be named, Call of Duty, I just thought now would be a good time to address the reasons I love Halo ever since I was 7 all the way to now, 8 years. Alright, I'm just going to start this off by telling you guys my first Halo experience ever, which was in 2007. I was a little kid. I was like really bored or whatever, and we were coming back from church, and my sister's boyfriend, now husband, brought over the Xbox 360, and we stayed up well, not all night, but we stayed up to like 11, which was late for me as a 7-year-old. We stayed up till 11 playing Halo. I remember the first map, it was Last Resort, and I was just exploring all the little things on the map that was so cool, and the ghost, trying that out for the first time, was so like fancy and like awesome, and just a bunch of crazy stuff. And back then it was so like mystical and like mysterious. Back then every single map, like the one made by the Forerunners and Guardian, and all of these maps were just so mysterious, and on sand trap, walking around with the giant elephant, and then going around going outside of the map and getting destroyed by the Guardians and those big light towers. Like, what were they? It was just so mysterious back then. I remember playing Sandbox with so many of my friends, just messing around on Forge, spawning rocket launchers to kill each other. We weren't doing anything except for that. And we'd spend like 3 hours just messing around and having a blast on Halo 3. Then Halo 3 ODST came out, and it was so different. It was so dark and colorful at the same time. It was so like scary and weird for a Halo game, and it was so much fun and like immersive, and like finding these people as different characters and dropping down from the big ship for the first time. It was just a really cool experience. But the number one reason I got ODST is because my dad heard that from my sister's boyfriend that you can get access to the Halo Reach beta for ODST. So we bought ODST. And the Reach beta, let me tell you, the Halo Reach beta was so much fun. Those 7 days, I believe, that the beta was out, played all night. Well, not all night because I was still pretty young. I was 10 years old. But I remember begging my parents to let me stay up and play with my cousins till like midnight or 1, and not getting off till 2 and not telling them. And it was just so much fun those 7 days. It was such a good experience. And then the full game came out, and it was even better. I remember playing through my first campaign all the way on that. I remember right when you jump down on like the second mission and you stab that elite in the face. It was so cool. I remember being heartbroken when all the characters died, because that was weird, because I never completed the stories all the way through except for then. It was weird and like awesome, and I know the campaign is not very deep now, but back then it was so deep, and now I have that with me. That's why I enjoy the Reach campaign more than others. I remember playing on Sword Base and experiencing all this stuff. I had my first all-nighter on Halo Reach. My first all-nighter was playing Invasion all night with my cousin on Boneyard and Spire, and messing around with all these vehicles and jumping off of the giant spire just to see if I can land on the gravity lift and go back up, and just trying that over and over again. And I remember looking outside and seeing the sun, and I'll be like, wow, it's already morning. I had so much fun on those games. Now to the sort of fallout for a short period of time. Halo 4. And I know people give Halo 4 a lot of crap, but I really enjoyed it for the most part when I was younger, and I enjoy it now also. I played the Halo 4 campaign on Legendary with my cousins and my brother, and we played through the entire thing, just having so much fun on Legendary, and just like wrecking all of these AI or whatever, and I thought I was so good back then. And I played the multiplayer for quite a while, actually. And then I had this sort of falling out. I moved to Black Ops 2 to try it out. And then I started buying games for my PS3 and got more into Call of Duty and stuff or whatever. And I've played PS3 all the time. And now that recently that I've got my Xbox One, and I played with the Master Chief Collection, and when Halo 5 came out, it's all of it. came back. And another good thing about Halo is it can be whatever you want it to be. As I said before, when I was young, all the Halo 3 maps were just so strange and mysterious and like awesome, and like the colors and everything was really cool and it was really mysterious. Or when I was in that transitional phase where it was just a cool shooter and a cool setting. And now that I'm older, looking into the lore, it's a complex story. There's so much to the lore. It mirrors real life events, and it like, oh, it's so good. I didn't know that the Covenant was a religious race / army where the higher ups were lying to the lower on the system, and there were systems to this Covenant where grunts were at the bottom, and it kept on going based on class, like it used to be in real life. And the civil war between the grunts, the brutes and the elites, when the Halo got destroyed, and the elites were seen unfit for protecting the prophets who were actually lying. And then the brutes took over for the elites. Just a bunch of really cool stuff. And humans happen to be made by these quote-unquote gods, as seen by the Covenant. Just a bunch of crazy, awesome, in-depth stuff that we don't have anymore. And I really, really wish Destiny topped it. So much potential. But here we are. And all we have is Halo. So, that's what Halo means to me.
Watch how I ride. I'm out of here, like a rocket, baby. I'm a Skywalker, keep the stars in my pocket, baby. I only got a couple years until I die. So far I go, I'ma do some shit to